So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video of Jupiter in the third house for Taurus ascendant people. As in what happens when Jupiter is in the third house in Cancer, known as its exalted position. And it is also the 8th and 11th Lord. And as always, if you do not know if you have this particular position, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, along with all your astrological details, you can check out the links here at astrology.com, where you'll find my books, reports, consultations, and link to my academy, Maghavat Astrology Academy, where I'm currently on my blank chart prediction course. The very last video I've uploaded, the greatest technique for timing of marriage. It's a little bit of calculations, but once you get it, it works 90 to 95% of the charts. Okay, so when Jupiter is in the third house, first thing you will see that this person will have immense love for traveling. They naturally want to connect with as many people as possible. Their father-in-law is going to be quite wealthy. Father-in-law will do a lot of traveling. But one thing that happens with this individual and including father-in-law, they get blamed. They get blames in life. Sometimes small blames, sometimes big blames. They get blamed. Like even if they didn't do something, they tend to get blamed. On the other hand, this is a particular Jupiter that tends to get naturally things, even though we can't say things come to them with ease. Nothing comes with ease. There always is work involved. But the thing is, when they actually do the work, you will see that their ability to produce the result from that work is quite easy. Why? Because in the third house third house of efforts, you have a benefic planet Jupiter, regardless of its house position being a trick lord for Taurus ascendant. It does show that when they output the hard work, they get things in abundance. Okay. But yes, being a trick lord, you will also see with this person that they always will have some form of issues happening with siblings, but they will be the one. They will be the one always want to keep that relationship strong. They'll be the one making that relationship good. No matter what happens, they'll be the one who become ultimately at the end the diplomat. On the other hand, this is also a position where a person tends to, at one point in life, learn some big secrets about life in general. Usually you will see that, especially for a Taurus ascendant, at one point they will somehow either step into occult or spirituality. And you will see with this Jupiter, the moment they step into being curious about occult, spirituality, meditation, tantra, learning the hidden things that the world doesn't really want to talk about, somehow their luck begins to rise. You will understand, especially from that blank chart prediction of Taurus, as to why this particular individual begins to see luck in their life once they step into a cult. And I don't mean like they have to follow it professionally. No, you could be a banker, you could be a stockbroker, you could be a software engineer with this Jupiter. It doesn't matter. But once you step in, that's when you will see something just happen, something rises. The other thing you will see with this person, they love to make friendships, especially, like for example, this Jupiter only likes to communicate when they know there's some benefit coming from that communication. That's what they will always be like. They want to only communicate. And this is why this Jupiter becomes an excellent salesperson. They'll be able to sell anything. Because remember, it's like, when you hear a guru talk, you want to sit there and listen. Because you feel like you're getting all kinds of nuggets about life. So when this person goes into sales, the other person likes to listen to what this person has to say. They enjoy their wordings. They enjoy, you know, their vocabulary, their grammatical expertise on the language. And they're like, okay, maybe I want to do business with this person. And especially this particular Jupiter does show that either there will be a big gap between them and the younger sibling, or they will be the youngest sibling. And they will benefit tremendously through their elder sibling. Or even if the younger sibling comes. Through siblings, they tend to gain directly or sometimes indirectly. Indirectly could be like siblings tell them about some idea or something and it works out. Or they naturally work with siblings, so things tend to work out. But one thing with this particular Jupiter is that they have more interest towards pursuing creative things, towards pursuing, like directly wanting to just go into making money more than pursuing some education or knowledge. If they try to attain knowledge, it's like they feel like they're being forced. Because since birth, they already know I have knowledge within me. I have wisdom within me. Because look, through my effort, I have done this, this, and this. Usually this person doesn't necessarily have to have the best top quality education to make a lot of money. Because see, 8th house, which is Jupiter's Mool Trikon sign, although it's a little bit inactive here with this Jupiter, because this Jupiter is mainly concentrating on Pisces, because it's in the feminine sign of Cancer. So naturally, 11th house being the house of monthly gains. So naturally, this person's focus towards monthly gain is there from the beginning. How do I make that money? But the thing with the 8th house is, okay, they naturally reinvent themselves. At least 2 or 3 times you will see they completely reinvent themselves. Like for example, if somebody is a actor, singer, if you see actors, the ones who are long lasting, 30, 40 years in the industry, they reinvent themselves. They rejuvenate themselves. Because remember, Jupiter is Jiva. Jupiter is that living breath. It's ruling the 8th house of transformation. So naturally, this person constantly puts effort towards reinventing themselves. And this is how the Jiva stays exalted. But if you do not reinvent, so let's say there's certain planetary placements that is obstructing this Jupiter from reinventing itself, then it becomes a problem. Then it's like one of those actors who were good in their time, or that person who was doing this thing was good in their time, but now it's no longer needed. The world is not even caring for what they were doing. But reinvention becomes important. And then here Jupiter, naturally, because it's in a feminine sign and it's the 11th lord, it brings gains to the father. Somehow they will bring tremendous, this child or whoever you are, you would bring much luck to the father. Because again, Mool Trikon sign is in the 8th, but Jupiter is more focused on Pisces. It's giving more results of the Pisces of the 11th house of gains and fulfillment of desires. And naturally, you will see such a person has a, if sun, obviously you have to see the sun's position. Usually if sun's position is good, they naturally tend to have like a best friend like relationship with their father. On the other hand, right near this person's home, you will see either a school or especially like, God, I forget. Well, see, again, if I'm talking about a worldwide, not everybody's going to have some Devi temple or something. But usually when Jupiter is in the 9th or 3rd, you will see Durga temple might be there. But this particular Jupiter will definitely show that next to the house, and especially it could be on north side of your block, of your colony or your home, a school. School, church, temple. Literally at the walking distance. And you will see this particular person, wherever they go, wherever they move to, the neighbors begin to flourish. Neighbors will get abundance through this particular person. The neighbor's life gets transformed. Okay. And then you also see with this person, they like to be in a type of work where they get some form of small gains every day. They like to get some kind of a gain every day in their life. And I'm not talking about it when they're kids. I'm talking about when they're adult and, they're pursuing their career, doing their thing. They don't want to get something in with lump sum. They like to get small little gains around them. And usually, this is also the particular Jupiter who is very much fond of reading. Reading becomes very important for them. No matter what, reading is something they always want to pursue. Not even writing. They may not be good writers, but they want to read. Because in the third house of information, you have Jupiter. And Jupiter wants to attain knowledge. Their effort is always, you will see, somehow towards wanting to learn something. Learn some book, learn some higher quality book, especially such a person you will see will tell you about some books that you never even heard of, but they're brilliant books, philosophical books, spiritual books. They're the ones who somehow attract that information towards them because Jupiter's gravitational force of attraction, of magnetism. And this is why such a person is also capable of having a huge social circles. Now, if Jupiter is retrograde, you still want to take this Jupiter as is. Okay? Don't think just because it's retrograde is no longer going to do anything in the third house. Yeah, if it's retrograde, you will see back and forth, they have to keep fixing things with their siblings. And Jupiter at one point gives especially 80% results being in the second house in Gemini. But the thing about retrograde planet is you want to look at both positions. Cancer as well as Gemini. Both will work. This is why retrograde planets are powerful. Why do they say they have such strength? Why do they get strength mathematically? Is because they're affecting many, many places and houses from themselves. Like especially if Jupiter is retrograde, they will also win over their enemies. Why? Because Jupiter will be in the second house looking at the sixth house of enemy. So they bless the enemy. Enemy feels blessed being their enemy. So naturally, they don't really get into too much of, disputes. Disputes happen, but they won't get in too much of those disputes. And especially this person becomes very emotional. Especially whenever talking to friends, siblings, they'll have a very strong, at one point, a bond with father-in-law. Okay, but also, mind is also very flickery for this person because again, we are looking at the Jiva. So the Jiva is always wanting to change one thing to another and becomes very clever. This Jupiter also, and again, if there's no obstruction with Ketu, becomes very lustful as well. There's strong lust with this Jupiter. Okay. And one of the other things you will see, especially in a female's chart, they may actually start their menstrual cycle very early. Okay. So anyway, guys, this was my analysis of Jupiter in the third house for Taurus Ascendant people. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss the top of videos. And again, remember I uploaded the marriage timing secret on blank chart prediction course on Maga Vedic Astrology Academy. All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.